Good morning, everyone. My name is Pieter Jan Vos, and I will be presenting to you today event management on Odoo 19. So, from my background, I actually am also working in an agency of back in the days. It's called We Organize Nightlife Events. So, just to be clear on today's topic, we will be focusing on creating an event, promoting the event, and also showcasing this event on a website, and afterwards having the right details to analyze the event itself. If you want to stay connected with me, share some feedback, have some questions, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn, and I would love to continue a discussion on there. So, where it actually comes from is the reality of today in the event sector. We know that of today, 85% of event professionals are actually working on scattered platforms, up to 4 to 6 disconnected software platforms that are not interacting with each other. And so this creates a big hassle for a lot of organizers, where we have to put data in, but it's difficult to have the data coming out and to see clearly how we are progressing as a company or as an agency. So for most of them, we see 3 big things. We see that sales is difficult to validate because visitors' data is trapped in a standalone ticketing platform. And next to that, we know that operations are also scattered across multiple Excel sheets, like we all probably know, where we will have to track our bookings for speakers or for artists that are going to play at the event. And of course, this creates a very difficult planning tool in order to work with. And as a third one, we see for finance, we know also that extra fees are accounted on the sales of tickets. And besides that, it's also pretty unclear to synchronize everything with accountancy. So to wrap this all up, we know that it's a hassle. It's different platforms needed to switch to keep track of every single input. And it's not always that easy to keep track of all this data. So that's where we will look at today. Thanks to Odoo, we have in one centralized platform these 4 applications which we will cover today. We will start with events. Afterwards, we will have a look at how it will be showcased on a website, and then how we can communicate via email marketing. And altogether, we can analyze our performances thanks to the dashboards. But besides these 4 applications, Odoo also offers a lot of other modules that can offer you the possibility to grow your business and to keep track of everything. And here you have a quick look on all the different applications that we can replace on your current platforms that you're using. And so we know that it's one integrated ecosystem that allows you to control and to have a nice overview of your business in one place. But for today, let's dive into the demonstration together. As I said, we will start to create an event. So what we have here in front of us is, of course, the overview of all the applications. I went a bit wild and I added quite a lot of them, as you can see, but for today we will cover events, website, email marketing, and dashboards. But I know that for quite a lot of event organizers, it might be interesting as well to look into point of sales, for example, or inventory, where you can have your own bar sales being tracked as well. But this is a topic for a different time. For now, we will stick to the core of the business by creating the event. So we open the event module. Here we can see a Kanban overview of stages where we can track each individual event that we have created. We can change this type of view, like we always do here on the right top corner. But for today, we stick to this Kanban view. So we can create a new event by just clicking on New, of course. And then Odoo opens a file where we can work in. So we can give it a name, we can give it some specific dates or hours. We can also create a specific language or make it from a template, so that you don't always have to put in again and again the same type of information. So as I did already before, I created a few tags, some tickets, and of course also some details about the event. To give you a bit of an understanding on how it can really look and feel once you have expertise in this matter, I can also showcase you an event that I created before. And this one is for Moody Man at the Fuse, where it will be taking place the 24th of April. And you can see that also here we have specific tickets. I created early bird, regular, and VIP. So now we're putting up all the information before publishing it. And this is a tool where we can go inside the ticketing, which is in Odoo a product. And we can open this, and here we can add a bit more of information about what we are selling. For example, a very important one for event organizers is a VAT. In Belgium at the moment, we are a bit in an unclear situation if it's going to stick to 6% of VAT or it's going to change to 12%. And in Odoo, we can change this easily. As you can see, this will be a pricing exclusive taxes that will be showcased. So the price that we put in here is inclusive the taxes. So that's where you can play a bit with your pricing, and it will be very clear to your customers which price they will have to pay. So going back to the event, what we did here is create the products. We can put it in a ticket price, a maximum, and also we immediately have an overview of how many registrations or how many tickets have been bought before. So next, what we can do before we are going to start communicating anything to our clients, we of course need to book our artists. And in order to book our artists, Odoo allows you to have a tracking system of every single individual artist. And that's done by tracks. So in tracks, we have again a Kanban view, a view where we can also shift each individual artist, in this case, to a different phase. Let's take, for example, Louis Vegas. This guy is pretty known in the house music genre, but if you need some more information to share about him, you can always add it here on the speaker bio and also add contact details. Why is this so amazing? It's actually, before you had to manage everything from your emails or from Excel. Now in Odoo, you have specifically on the event that we are organizing immediately an overview of where the phase is of an artist, but also the communication that is happening. Because on the right side here, we have a chatterbox that allows us to send emails immediately to the agent or to the artist himself. So in that way, we can always have a great understanding of where we are with the booking. So to give you also the example of how it can look like, I will open the one of Moody Man, and here you will see that I put it already some information. Also, the biography is an interesting one because we can put this as a description. And I'll showcase later how this will look like, because it's a nice feature to add on top of your website where the event will be displayed. So now that we have booked our artists, it's of course time to start communicating. And the first thing we do is create our website. We have a website behind, back in the days in this case, where we will be showcasing all of our events. But from Odoo, you can immediately jump to your website itself. You don't have to go to a different platform anymore. By just clicking on Go to Website, we jump in the website, and that's where we will see our event displayed. I, of course, created this event in advance, but it's super easy to adjust it yourself. By clicking on Edit, we have a drag and drop system that allows you to change anything in here. For today, I will not focus on all of these detailed features. For that, you can obviously also go to other webinars or YouTube videos of our tutorials that will allow you to understand much better everything around website design. So what I did here is, as you can see, I made a nice timer to see immediately what or when the event will take place. But what is a nice feature here is that visitors can also immediately add the event to their agenda. And they can also have a route description towards the location where it will be taking place. Let's open the full lineup. And this is a feature that I just explained when we were in the tracks of the artist. We can also showcase a bit more about the artist itself or the speaker. And this is a very convenient way of working in Odoo, because as you can see, we immediately have all the information of the artist, and I can click it open and look at that. That's where it is displayed a bit more background of the artist itself. An interesting feature, if you would ask me. So let's say we are now a client. We have published this website, and the client goes on the website. Then it's super easy to buy the ticket by just clicking on register. We can select the amount of tickets, and then we also have in the backend asked a few questions. In this case, the questions are mandatory, but we can also say that they're not mandatory, so they don't need to fill in their specific name or their email address. It's up to you for the organizer to decide what information you would like. But you can, of course, go a bit further with this. For example, gender or age would be a possibility as well. Once they have filled in all the info, they can go to payment. And here you will see something very remarkable from Odoo. Instead of having service fees or additional transactional fees from the provider of the ticket, Odoo is not doing that. Odoo is just giving the price itself from you and not adding anything on top of that. It could be that the payment provider will have their own fees added to it, but that will be done afterwards during the transaction phase. But let's say in this case they do it with a transfer immediately, and then there is no fee at all. We click on pay now, and now what will happen is, of course, Odoo will be showcasing the event and the ticket that has been bought. The clients can immediately add it to their agenda. They can check the ticket again. They can download it from here. I will quickly showcase how it will look like. There you go. And then you can see what has been put it here. We can also add additional information on the ticket. Let's say, for example, if there is a specific route description or they need some specific information in order to prepare for the event, we can always add this on the ticket as well. What will be standard is the name, the location, the date, and the QR code. And this is something that the client will receive. So we can also showcase this quickly in my email box, and that's where you will see that there is a ticket coming in, and up, it's not there. Sorry for that. I think I put it in the wrong email address, but we don't mind. The ticket will be exactly the same as showcased here. So if we go back to the event, let's say we now have published everything on the website. We have been seeing that the ticket sales is not going that well, so we want to push a little bit more the ticket sales, and that's how we can do it via invite. From Odoo itself, you don't have to go again to a different platform. It's all integrated at once from our event page itself. We can start inviting guests. Based on information or based on data we have collected maybe from other events, or people have subscribed for a newsletter, we can send them emails from here. By selecting, in this case I created also a little template, we can edit an email in order to send to these people to bring them aware of the event itself. And it's a bit the same as where we have with the website. We can add and edit all the details here. Again, I would advise you to go to a webinar or to the tutorials on YouTube about email marketing to dig a bit deeper into all the details about this. But for today, you can see what we can create here. We can also create a link immediately to the website where the client can go to. All of the emails being sent out are also tracked. But for that, again, there are different sources to go to. So back to the emails, back to the event, sorry. We can also go a bit further. Let's say that some of our artists need specific information. We can also contact them immediately from here. Or let's say we can, there is a cancellation, unfortunately, of an artist or a speaker. We can also contact the attendees, so the people that have bought their tickets immediately from the event itself. So let's say the event has been sold out. It's time now for the event itself. We're inviting Moody Man. We had a lovely dinner together. And now it's time to open the doors. We need to start scanning the tickets. And again, this is a feature that Odoo is allowing us to do very easily by using Registration Desk. This is a scanning tool for the barcode where we will go with our phone or maybe from the laptop, sorry, where we can scan all the QR codes and see if the people have the correct ticket or not. We can also select them if we want. If we have an overview of all the people that have bought them, we can also select them and say, okay, they have been registered and they are at the event. So in that way, Odoo also allows you to start scanning tickets very easily. So the event has been done. All the people have been very happy. It was an amazing night. Now it's time for us to start analyzing how the event went. And instead of just looking at how many registrations we have, we can go a bit deeper in this case. We can go to reporting, and that's where we can see the attendees. Now, we will not look at the graph, but we will more look at the pivot table, where we will have an overview that we can adapt. This is a reporting style which allows you to customize fully to your needs. In this case, we have an overview of just the event and who has been attended or registered, but we can also add a layer on top of it where we can see, for example, the type of tickets that has been scanned. Let's say we want to push this a bit further, or we want to share this with someone. We can always share this easily by also inserting this into a spreadsheet, where we can also connect this with dashboards. For today, I will not go into details on the technical side on how to add this to a dashboard, but what I can show you is that by going to dashboards, we of course have an overview of how the event has been performing, and that's where we can put in place filters, etc., to allow us to dig a bit deeper into all the figures over there. So we had now a lovely night. We have analyzed how it went. Everyone is super happy. And now it's time to celebrate again and look forward to the next event that we're going to organize. And so we do everything over again. And as you have seen, we can manage everything from one place in Odoo. We can also shift every single event or booking in order to track everything very well. So that was the little demo. I'm now ready for all your questions. You can put in the live chat, and I'll be happy to help you over there in a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Hi.
With me is Manon. She's the expert
Hi.
in marketing and events. Thank you, Manon, for joining.
You're welcome.
We will be answering your questions now. And I will start off with the question of Timo. What are the transaction costs for selling online tickets? So in this case, Odoo doesn't charge any extra additional fees. However, if the payment provider you have chosen, as I've also seen that Cedric has asked a question about that, like for example Stripe and PayPal, they will have their own transactional fees itself. But remember, for other platforms where you are selling your tickets from, they will also add a layer of fees, like service fees, as I explained during the demo. At Odoo, this is not the case.
We have another question from Jo Vandenbroek. Can the layout of the tickets be customized, branded? So, let me go back to the database. So in terms of layout, you might notice in Odoo you have the settings, the general settings that allow you to display and choose the document layout. But in terms of tickets, so you have by default the standard ticket option. So let's take this one to check the attendee. So here we have the email participation and then the ticket behind it. You can customize it a bit on the event in itself. So on notes and documents you can add, this is for the badge, but you can put ticket instruction. But in the ticket per se, you will have to use Studio to be able to edit the report, because this is a specific report of the ticket. And beside that, there is no other option to customize it more. Another question from Juliet. For events with complicated agendas, can participants set themselves up a custom agenda with the session they want? And can we, as organizer, track that to see which session are popular selling out? So you can do that thanks to the option of, so on the tracks, when the tracks are published online. So if I go up on the tracks, here is not activated, but yes. Let me go back to the event, sorry. So on the tracks, you have the possibility to add, here you have the mention of wish list, meaning that when people are on your website, they can add the track, the session as the wish list right here on the little bell. And so they as user will be able to see all the tracks that they are following, that they are interested in, and you will be able to see from the events all those who have been wish listed. So if I'm going back on my event track, you see here wish listed by that many people. So you will be able to see that thanks to this little bell and the wish list option.
All right. Thank you, Manon. I'm reading here from Bdroid. Can I get a quick rundown again for the step-by-step process on creating an event? You just got in the stream. It's very easy, but I will show you quickly again so that you are well aware on how to do it. So when you open events, then from here on the left top corner, you just click on new, and that's where you start creating the event. And once you are done with all the details being put in place, you can click on booked, and from here it will then go from each individual stage to the next one. I hope this gave you a better understanding on how to create the event itself.
And also, if you just came in, know that this webinar will be available for the replay, so you can catch what Peter Jan has said a bit later. We also have a question of, Letizia, I think. Does Odoo has virtual space for hybrid events? So I'm guessing hybrid events, no.
Oh. I'll do it.
Thanks. So for hybrid event, meaning that you have a physical event and then sometimes you also host it online, just like this webinar. So we don't have a space per se, but you have the possibility on the event to either on the venue choose the fact that there is no venue because it's not a physical event, and then you can put a link towards like the YouTube or whatever place you are hosting online the webinar, or on the tracks in themselves. So let's say you have a physical event and then you have a specific session that is hosted online. Same, the location, you can put the link towards YouTube, towards Vimeo, whatever place you are going to host your event online on. So it will be mostly handled with the location in Odoo.
All right. So I'm reading here from Marta Michiels. Can we also plan internal organization and allocate resources? The example given is colleague from IT, someone from comms team, facilities, etc. We need Odoo. Yeah, we can go very broad in this case. I will jump in the demo again. So where we have, for example, in the event itself, we can start communicating to each other. We can tag each other. And that's where you can also allocate specific activities, for example, or to-dos in order to remind people to do a specific action in order to create this event or to follow up. You have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I would say for that part, if you need to organize like internally the resources, you will have to work both with the event. So event will be for the end user, your client, and then with the project application. So you can also create a project event management, and then have there all the tasks and all the people needed, the tech, the IT, whatever you need. Those will be related. But in the event app in itself, we don't have that like this planning view or this resources view directly.
All right. That's it. Thank you very much, everyone. I will quickly go to the last slide up. And I'm thanking you for attending, and I hope to see you very soon.